Hey guys, what's up? How ya doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean Part 2, which will be on episodes 3 and 4, or episodes freaking episodes 15 and 16, you know? Anyways, these two episodes right here was actually pretty crazy. I wish I could have done two episodes of talking or recapping last week, but I gotten a little tired, lazy, and a lot of things is just not the same anymore since Netflix took over JoJo somehow, and it's really upsetting. Sorry to really being honest here and there, but if anything else, let's just get this started right away, okay? We had to it that after the opening, we get to see a little memory trip lane about Sports Max himself, you know? We get to see to it that Sports Max was supposed to bring to life of a bone, which is Dio's bone. Apparently, that Pale Snake or Pale Snake mentioned, you know. Eventually, that bone went into craziness and ate part of Pale Snake's hand, you know, or White Snake's hand, which is really pretty shocking. But at the same time, Pale Snake realizes something and tells Sports Max to let it go crazy because there's something about it that it may lead up to something, you know. And eventually, this was actually a memory being played right now by the little boy. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call him the baseball boy or Emporio. Yeah, his name is right there. I guess I found it right on time, you know. So yeah, we have to it that they realized that since Jolene saw the memory of Sports Max, they realized that Jolene went into the maximum security prison area in order to find the bone and possibly bait out Pale Snake or White Snake out in the open, you know, which I go wow, that's pretty smart and all, but it's pretty reckless. And at the same time though, we get to know a little bit about a new guy who decides to help out Foo Fighters, etc. And he goes by the name of Narcisco or something, or his name is Narcisco Anastasia or something, you know. We get to know that this guy has always been a person that likes to disassemble anything, like anything you can imagine. He'll disassemble a cell phone. He'll disassemble maybe a headphone, even a freaking PlayStation controller and so forth. You name it. He be disassembling those for I don't know why. I don't know why he does it. We don't really know what his goal is, but one thing was certain: when he got arrested for murder, when he found his girlfriend cheating on him with a different guy, he disassembled them too. And what I mean by disassembled, he literally dismembered them, cut them into pieces, and yeah, I'm like, oh man, that's sick. But we had to it that Emporio was trying to convince Foo Fighters that the guy's not gonna help out. He's not the kind of guy. He's pretty much, how am I supposed to say it? He's almost like neutral. Like he doesn't care about anything else but himself, you know, in a certain way. But the guy ends up saying, okay, you know what? Let me help you, you know? And we get to know that this Anastasia guy, or should I say a guy that looks like Diablo, which I'm pretty sure you watched JoJo in the anime order or read up to the manga in order, okay? If you have not watched JoJo at all and just watching this episode, yeah, you're just spoiling yourself and you just don't get the story. That much I can say. Forgive me for being rude and all that, but all I can know is that this guy that looks like Diablo, I'm pretty sure you guys know who he is, but I'll call him Anastasia, you know, which I thought will be easy. Unless it's another word for him, Anasui. I don't know how you want to call it, but all I know is Anasui decides to help out, but in exchange, he will marry Jolene if he protects her to the end. Which I go like, hold on. Why is he interested in Jolene for a second? He says this girl wants to go save her father and risk herself to go into ultra maximum security prison. I thought it was pretty cool and all, you know. So Foo Fighters, you say you do anything for us, right? So if anything else, give us your blessing, you know. I'm thinking in my mind, yeah, I don't think this girl's gonna freaking want to marry you anyway. What is it that you have to offer? I mean, we get to also know about his stand ability, you know, which is called Divers Down or Divers Drive in the subtitles. I'll call it Divers Down, Drivers Ball. I don't know. He says Divers Down or something, I think, and he ends up using that ability on a gate and it attacks the guards. But it looks like to me it has some kind of delay of an attack, for example. Like like what Anastasia or Anasui did was like he kicks the door and then his attack will actually come out in a delayed manner. You know, for example, I punch the wall and then that punch will go through the other side in a maybe a couple second in time interval manner, and he knocks out the guard. You know, he goes like, "All right, let's do this." You know, that kind of thing. And we get to know a scene. We get to see a scene with Dio and the Pale Snake, White Snake's conversation. You know, this is where it gets a little interesting because it talks about a survivor stand where apparently if it managed to electrify you with water, which was not fatal, it'll activate the anger fighting instinct inside you, like fighting for survival. You know, survivors. You know, Dio finds that stand pretty useless, but at the same time, like it's a very handful. So I guess like it's not good at combat, but it can activate some kind of mental activity inside your brain, like some kind of electricity after you get touched by water. You know, you guys get the cue. If you read the manga or if you watched the episode already, you get the idea how this survivor stand works. You know, and I thought it was pretty dangerous, all things considered, because the way how it works, you know, it's like we get to see two guards like fighting each other after they end up bullying Jolene whatsoever, you know, that kind of thing. And eventually, this is all part of the it was all part of the plan for Father, or I should say White Snake's plan, you know, and ends up having to like get them into a chaotic situation, and the guard ends up releasing all the prisoners into battle. You know, in terms of battle, what I mean by that is like in fighting and like high freaking fighting order whatsoever. You know, that kind of thing. Eventually, he ends up fighting Jolene whatsoever, etc. And of course, Jolene does struggle against him because she did have an advantage over him eventually, even though he did fight in a inhuman or superhuman like way. However, now we're gonna talk about episode 16. Episode 15 was about like Jolene going to ultra security prison. Later on, she ends up seeing two guards bully her, and then the survivor stand, like I'm telling you about, activates the fighting instincts or anger inside the person, and they end up fighting each other, and the prison guard ends up releasing all the stand users, or should I say the prisoners that's in that ultra security prison, to go into a brawl, you know, that kind of thing. And the prison guard decides to fight Jolene himself, you know, Jolene herself, you know, etc. And now episode 16 is the part where where Jolene and the prison guard ends up fighting each other, you know. So I thought it was pretty pretty crazy right there. Now I could go into detail about the fight, but I'm gonna put it simple. Jolene does have a couple advantages and disadvantages when she fought the guard, you know, but eventually when she was at close to a point where she could actually beat the guard or possibly kill him, she gets hit somewhere where she loses a chunk of her body. For example, she lost a chunk on her forearm first, and then she lost a chunk on her left side of her abdomen, you know, etc. Well, yeah, etc. And later on, it comes to possibly her leg and so forth, and that is because the guard, who has the ability of a stand user, which apparently was not really shown, but in the halfway point, is called Starlight Waves, you know, etc. All I know is it attracts meteors. The stand that the guard has that he doesn't know, which he found out later, is attracting meteors to his opponent. I mean, it'll go to him if it's off course, but it'll disintegrate before it can do any damage to him, you know? So yeah, you guys get the cue. Unless you watch the episode, which is episode 16, you understand. But if you're not up to date with any of the JoJo's anime, then pretty much you're gonna be confused as hell. But that aside, all I can really tell you right now is that eventually Jolene will struggle against the prison guard after getting parts of her body being blown up by meteorites. But later on, she finds Dio's bone that she was looking for, and some guy ends up picking up and then runs away with it. And we have Jolene still struggles against the guard, but eventually manages to use his shoe as a trajectory, turning into a fire boot eventually when the meteorite hit her, and ends up throwing at the guy, knocks him out, knocks him out with the shoe and pummels him with the rush attack of a stand ability and knocks him out to oblivion down the stairs, blah, 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 blah. You guys get the cue. Sorry. Yeah. So, overall, on episode 16 of episode 16, it involves the fight with the guard and Jolene, you know. Of course, there's a small scene with, like, in Foo Fighters and Anastasia, or Anasui, whatever you want to call them. I'll call them Anastasia because that's what the subtitles say. So, if it's a mistranslation, I don't know. I mean, it's up to them because, you know, Netflix, I don't know how they got their hands on JoJo Part 6, but hopefully they don't get their hands on any more anime anymore. But sorry for being aggressive on that, but yeah. Yeah, so pretty much episode 15 shows why Jolene went to the high security prison so she could find the bun and bait out, like, Pale Snake himself, you know, etc. And while, like, Jolene ends up being involved with, like, some kind of survivor stand, you know, which we don't really know who is the user right now. Even I don't even know who the user is. It's never shown or explicitly shown. Only the prison guard's ability involving meteors was shown, you know. So yeah. Okay, enough of me being a little confusing. Episode 15 and 16 are connected. Jolene goes to the goes to the high security prison, fights a prison guard, while Foo Fighters and Anasui is trying to find a way to help Jolene out and save her because, like, there's a chance that White Toe Snake must have sent, like, a couple assassin JoJo stand users knowing to kill Jolene because she's already causing a lot of trouble. But you guys get the cue. We already know what Jolene's goal is, but it's going to take a long while for it to fulfill that goal. We all know how that's going to turn out, but we don't really know since I'm in anime only. But that aside, looking forward to the next 2 episodes, which I'll talk about another time, you know. Hopefully I won't be too lazy on that, but we'll see. Anyways, thought these 2 episodes were pretty good. Jolene fighting the prison guard is because of the survivors stand, and then the meteor attracting stand, you know. Wow, so pretty cool. So until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot.